Yes, Philippe, the floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Philippe Pondaven. I'm from the University of Brest in France. And I'm representing a group of biologists with colleagues, Alex Tibor here from the University of Munich and Cologne in Germany, and also the University of Trondheim, Philippe here, NTNU in Norway. And we are interested in food web dynamics, plankton food web dynamics, and how the marine environment, especially stratification, influence this dynamics. Stratification is one important physical characteristic of pelagic water columns. You have usually, two layers: an upper mixed layer, warmer, less salty, a thermocline or technocline, and deeper layers, more cold. This is an example here where we have worked in the Bay of Opavagen, Norway. And this stratification, vertical stratification, has large effects on the food webs and planktonic organisms, because usually planktonic organisms grow in the surface mixed layer, where you have microalgae, phytoplankton, which needs both light here to do photosynthesis, fix inorganic carbon, but they also need nutrients, which comes from the deeper layers, nitrogen, phosphorus, to produce proteins and various organic compounds. And this technocline is usually a barrier for the exchange of nutrients from the deep layers to the surface layer. So stratification strongly affects primary production by phytoplankton, microalgae, and then it has influence on the food web, which develops on this primary production. And by food webs, what we mean, a typical plankton food webs is briefly summarized here. You have mainly two types of microalgae: large ones, such as diatoms, which are silicified microalgae, and smaller phytoflagellates, which take nutrients in the upper mixed layer, and also bacteria, which relies on dissolved organic compounds, but also are able to compete with phytoplankton for the use of phosphorus, for example. And large cells are consumed or grazed by large zooplankton, here a copepod, we call it mesozooplankton, which are prey for jellyfish or small pelagic fish. So this upper part is what we call the grazing food chain, with few trophic levels and high transfer efficiency between primary producer and top predator. And you have what we call here a microbial loop with more components: microzooplankton, heterotrophic nanoflagellate, which graze on small phytoflagellates or bacteria. You have less transfer efficiency in this microbial loop, more loss of energy because more sweeping leaks. So we are interested in understanding how stratification influences the food web dynamics and the flux of energy and elements in this type of food webs. And the idea, the background, is that with global warming, it is expected that the upper surface layer will be more stratified. So here it's present day and the expected future with higher temperature, higher CO2 income, so warmer, fresher, and more acidic surface layer, and also stronger gradient between upper and deeper layers, so less nutrient input in the upper mixed layer, which is expected to affect food web dynamics. And models are tools to try to predict how change in stratification will affect plankton dynamics, but we also need experiment to test some hypotheses. And in marine environment, so far there are few experiments testing how stratification alone affects food web dynamics. So this was the purpose of our work, and we wanted to test three hypotheses, how decreasing mixing depth will affect the phytoplankton community, small versus large algae, and how this will impact higher trophic levels, zooplankton. I'll talk about a few minutes later. And also how it will impact jellyfish growth, one of the top predators in the plankton. So for this purpose, we have set up a mesocause experiment thanks to the NTNU in Norway, the University of Trondheim. So it's here in the Bay of Opervagen, you see on this picture, where the University of Trondheim owns a field station. So the bay is a semi-enclosed bay, a full marine system, but which is protected from strong hydrodynamics in the fjords with this small canal, and also from strong storm and winds by this surrounding mountain. So it's very suitable to install mesocause in this small bay, which is quite deep, of course, it's 30 meters or something like that. So we installed a total of 18 mesocause. So mesocause is simply plastic bags of a few cubic meters, which are lifted up from the deep to the surface to sample the plankton community. So at the start of the experiment, 18 mesocause, we have the same plankton community. One time of the year, it was summer 2017. And the only difference between the mesocause is the depth. Here we have a 2 meters bag and up to 12 meters. 12 meters in the Bay of Opervagen. In summer, it's above the depth of the mixed layer. So we decrease artificially mixed layer, but by decreasing the depth of the bag. And we have tubes here and a pump. So we mixed twice a day all the bags with gently bubbling with compressed air, full water column in each bag, 2 times per day. To maintain, we wanted to prevent a stratification within the bag. So we have well mixed water column in all the bags. And what we did every day or every 2 days, we sample all mesocause, study phytoplankton, zooplankton, community, and some various aspects of their biology and ecology. So I will present you a few results. Take time. Yeah.
It's 7 minutes.
So one first aspect is about the water chemistry. I was talking about nutrients in the introduction. In summer, late summer, in this area, the water column is very low in nutrients. Here is one example with enclosure depth of measurable depth on the x-axis, and L13 is dissolved inorganic phosphorus, important element for phytoplankton growth and bacteria growth. And you have concentration lower than 0.05 micromole per liter, which is very low. If you compare to the deep northern Pacific, you can reach up to 3 micromole per liter in rich water. So it's very low in phosphorus at this time of the year. And what we expected and wanted more or less is that all bags have the same low nutrient concentration, so they are comparable in terms of water chemistry. Then we look at how the phytoplankton community react to change in mixing depths. And here you have a figure which shows one example in a 2 meters deep bag of how phytoplankton biomass, the all phytoplankton biomass, small and large cell, changed through times. We have 16 days. And you have a typical initial response in mesocosm is that at start, usually you see a decrease in biomass because you have some sedimentation occurring in the banks. And then you have what we call a resilience and a partial or full recovery, with the resilience being the slope of the increase from day 10 to day 16, and recovery between the comparison between the start of the experiment and the end of the experiment. So we look at transient dynamic for 16 days, and the time scale is about the typical time scale of the generation time of plankton in this type of food webs. So it's characteristic of this. So I will just detail three aspects: initial response, resilience, and recovery. The initial response in all bags were very similar. We had a decrease, whatever, regardless of the depth of the biomass in all mesocots. So no difference with mixing depths. On the contrary, what we saw is that we had here resilience and recovery. We had a faster resilience in shallower mesocots, and also a better recovery in shallower mesocots compared to deeper ones in short term. So this is for the whole phytoplankton community. If we look in details to the composition of the phytoplankton community, what you have on this figure is day 5 here, day 15, and the colors represent different groups of phytoplankton. Diatoms are large phytoplankton, large Sletvik, and primnadophyte, cryptophyte, and others are small phytoflagellates. So what you see at first is that the community was dominated by small phytoflagellates at this time of the year. But what we saw in this mesocosm is that in shallower mesocosm we had a bloom of primnadophyte, light green algae, and the counting which just came out, Eric said, confirms that these small primnadophytes are calcifying algae, Emiliana huxleyi. So it seems that decreasing mixing favors this small calcifying phytoflagellates.
Yes.
2 minutes. I'm almost finished. Regarding just one example for zooplankton, large zooplankton, copepod, what we found is that in shallower mesocosm, we had a decrease in the abundance of large zooplankton. Considering the time scale of the experiment, it's not due to lower reproduction because the typical time scale for copepod from the eggs to the adults is more than 15 days. So the mechanism behind this is most probably higher loss rate from higher metabolism or higher predation from jellyfish, notably in shallower. But we have to check, it's not yet analyzed. So well, I will skip this one. We have studied also food quality by studying fatty acids, which is a proxy of the food quality. And what we saw is that in shallower mesocosm, because of this small algae, you have different type of fatty acid, notably more omega-3 type of fatty acid in shallower mesocosm, but it's still preliminary results. So I finish with the preliminary summary. We have seen short-term reorganization of the food web because of this change in mixing depth. The total biomass didn't change much, but we have disparity within and between trophic groups with a bloom of calcifying coccolithophore. some correlation with food quality and zooplankton, but we are still working on plankton taxonomy because it's identification by microscope, cell by cell. We have to count all of them, and it's time consuming. Thank you.
Just on time.
Do you expect a different result by applying this kind of experiment in a different way, for example, in the Mediterranean Sea? I mean,
what we expected and what we didn't saw, if I come back to this picture, is that in deeper mesocols, we expected more diatoms, because diatoms are fast-growing algae, which do not need a lot of energy to divide because they have a silicified cell wall, and it's not energy consuming compared to dinoflagellates. And what we see is that there is no blooms or development of diatom in deeper mesocols. One possible reason is that in late summer in the Bay of Oberwagen, as I said, it's really nutrient poor, and it was low in phosphorus, but also low in silica. And diatom without silica, they cannot divide. So the thing we didn't expect, and which is nice here, is that I think my knowledge is the first time we can show that with decreasing mixing depth, experimentally, we promote Emiliana clay bloom, or calcifying organism, which is one of the results, main results we have so far for this experiment. But of course, we would need some comparison with other systems. In the Mediterranean Sea, it's different type of community, different type of zooplankton. We have conditions. It's specific to this type of system.
One very short.
Yes. 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 We didn't touch to nutrients. We just measure it outside in the bay and inside the mesocols, but it was same condition in all bats.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay,
There's one question. If you break the question, so.
Thank you.
Yes, and the last speaker.